This episode of the Community Workbench podcast is proudly sponsored by yours truly, Matt Noren of Remax Bell Park Realty. For all of your real estate needs, residential and commercial, call me 860-428-6534. Your dreams are my job. Welcome to the Community Workbench. This is Matt Noren and Kyle Morrissey. We are your hosts of the #1 podcast in my basement. At the bench, we try to repair the sense of community. So every week, we bring you small businesses, entrepreneurs, community leaders, charities, and pretty much whoever we feel like talking to. And today, we feel like talking to Dylan and Jesse from Rude Dog Boxing. Hello, gentlemen.
Howdy.
How you doing? So talk to us about Rude Dog Boxing. How'd you get started? And, what got you into Rude Dog Boxing? Well, I love the name. Where's that come from? Let's start with that. Where'd the name come from?
So the name comes from some crazy Italian guy who decided to start a boxing gym in a chicken coop. His name is Paul Rude Dog Iannuzzi, and the origin of his name is quite the story. He was fighting in like New York City, and he was in this like real grueling fight where his opponent was fighting dirty. They were like biting each other and kicking each other.
Oh my goodness.
Long and the short is he had to like run outside the venue, like slide down this like fire escape, and as he's running through the hallway, some guy's like, "Did you just see that fight that was going on? That guy was like a crazy dog. He was like a rude dog." Some random guy gave him that nickname.
Wow.
So till this day, he is Rude Dog Iannuzzi.
Wow. That's cool. And like what time period was that?
Oh, I don't know. Sorry, Paul, if I get this wrong. I'm gonna guess it was like the late '80s, early '90s.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't know.
So
He's so old, it's so hard to go back. And
I don't know.
easy there, young. I'm sure you're not threatened by me, but
Yeah, whenever Jesus died, that was that's when it was.
Off with a bang.
That's Rude Dog Boxing.
yeah, that's
And so how did the is it a dojo? Do we call it a
No, so it's a boxing gym. It's not karate. I love karate, but it's boxing. It's different.
Yeah.
And yeah, we turned what used to be a chicken coop owned by a serial killer's family. I don't know if you know who Michael Ross was.
Yep. Wow.
But that chicken coop was owned by his family. And
That's the one here in Brooklyn.
that's the one here in Brooklyn, right across from the fairgrounds.
come on down.
And we've turned that place to a premier boxing gym. It is really world class. I mean, we have undefeated professional athletes like myself and Jesse, and my coach Paul Rude Dog Iannuzzi broke a world record.
Wow.
At 53 years old, I don't know if you guys heard of this. At 53 years old, he broke the world record for the world's oldest guy to have a professional debut and win.
Wow.
Won in the first round via knockout.
Wow.
What year was that?
That's
2
awesome.
years ago. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he actually got inducted into the Connecticut Boxing Hall of Fame for it.
Wow.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yep.
So
Chicken coop.
Chicken coop.
Yeah.
we are famous for our chicken coops here in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually quite a few with stories.
Yeah.
With actual chickens.
Yeah.
too.
Our chicken coop actually, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe we're close to about 200 people in all the entirety of our programs. We offer multiple programs.
Sure, if you want to go through them, go for it. Like,
Yeah. So our first program that we're known for is Rude Dog Boxing. That's a Golden Gloves professional boxing program. Also cardio boxing. It's all ages. Anyone over the age of I think our youngest in the adult class is probably like 12, and our oldest right now is 70 years old.
12 in the adult class.
Yeah.
These are some big 12-year-olds.
Big
that are
12-year-olds.
walking
Yeah, you can't put them with the
around.
other
It's
kids; they'll
crazy.
kill them.
Yeah.
And then we have a 70-year-old who's competing. He's 5-1 as an amateur, and I'm actually going with him next weekend to Atlantic City to fight in a tournament. That's Mike the Machine Lachine, and he is quite the guy. He is
Sounds
quite
like
the
it.
guy. And that's our adult boxing program. We also have a kids program called Camp Hero, and that's for little guys. I think our youngest is, 3?
Yeah.
Our oldest is probably 11 or 12. And HERO is an acronym. It stands for humble, enthusiastic, respectful, and optimistic.
Nice.
And we're trying to teach kids how to be confident leaders in their community.
Yeah.
And then the program that to me is near and dear to my heart and special at our gym is called Life and Balance, and it's a elderly instability, Parkinson's, movement disorder class, and we help people, build strength and get back moving. And
Wow.
Yeah, my mother actually does one of those for Parkinson's in North Attleboro.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
I happened to go see it. I was like, this is incredible. Like, everybody's super into it,
Yes.
and just like, yeah, it was awesome.
That's life-changing stuff. I love the youth boxing program. Our Life and Balance program, those guys are real fighters.
Yeah.
Every
Right.
day they're fighting a fight, and they're not giving up.
That's awesome. That's like that is so cool. Especially you're probably giving people mobility back and
Yep.
cardio strength.
Yep.
Or cardio and strength and
Yeah, we got
that's
there's a million of
incredible.
millions. There's a ton of stories we could tell about that program. People were told they were never going to be able to walk again,
wow.
and then we're getting them up out of their wheelchairs, moving, and then the confidence that just radiates off them because now they're like, you know what? There is hope.
Yeah.
Hope is huge.
Yeah, and they probably never thought a day in their life they'd be boxing.
No, no,
You know,
no.
You know, and,
No.
and now they're like
Yeah.
they're hitting the bag and
Yeah.
everything. You know.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
It's funny that we're talking about this because just the other day I was reading an article about how the biggest fix for bad genetics is physical exercise. Is like where you start. Is
Right.
like exercising 20, 30 minutes a day and whatever it is. If it's just clapping your hands and getting your heart rate up,
It's more than most.
for that, and then all the way up to 18 rounds with you.
Yeah. Not recommended. Not good for your health.
The biggest thing and the most difficult thing is getting people to get in the car and get to the place. And once
Yeah.
you're there, it's so fun, it's so exciting.
Mhm.
Everyone is into it. Everyone's bought into the idea because everybody's there because nothing's perfect,
Yeah.
right? If I looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger, to be honest, I wouldn't be at the boxing gym, right?
Probably wouldn't be here either.
I wouldn't be here either. I can think of a few places. But so once you realize that everyone's there not because they're perfect in whatever way they're self-conscious about, you talk to other people in our community and you figure out why they're there. And Coach always says that if everyone were to throw their problems in the middle of the table, you'd grab yours back. And so you get perspective. That's
yeah.
especially with me. I think, oh man, my life's going through this or that, the third, and then I realize, oh crap, well this person's got Parkinson's.
Yeah.
They're doing whatever. So I'm just like, suck it up, Buttercup.
Now, do you guys
figured it
run
out.
those classes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
it's like right in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's humbling, I'm sure.
Is that like, do you have like in karate or in jiu-jitsu, there's ranks? Is there ranks and then you go back to teach the lower ranks kind of thing?
So let's see here. That's a good question. We have a coaching staff. There's not really so much as a ranking system as I'm the manager,
Okay.
and then I oversee the staff there. And then above me is the owner, Paul Iannuzzi. And our staff is people that have showed interest, and we do train them. And our staff is different for each program, but we've tried to select the best, the cream of the crop from our gym that we feel is going to be the better fit for
Yeah,
the
like-
program.
Most beneficial.
Yeah, and then as time goes on, they learn more and more skill sets. I'm new to managing this gym. I've only been managing now for a few months, but I've watched Paul for the last 12 years do it, and I'm starting to come into my own now and implementing things that I've watched over the years. So even as the manager, I'm learning day to day as well.
Right.
And our coaching staff, shout out to them. They are all superstars, rock stars, phenomenal.
That's
Our gym is, I don't go to church, but the gym to me is my church. We've
Yeah.
really built quite the community, and they're so awesome. We go to these venues and we sell them out. They drive an hour and 20 minutes to go see me and Jesse and support us. It's surreal.
Now, you guys considered professional boxers?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Undefeated
Undefeated.
Undefeated.
with
And
knockouts. All
Knockout
knockouts.
artist.
And how? What's your record?
I'm 2-0. But I'm gonna milk that.
That's two more than we have.
I'm gonna milk that for sure. It sounds better on paper.
well, obviously, you've been in the rink more than 2 times.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
as
Came
a-
up through the amateurs.
Yeah.
Did tons of exhibitions. Yeah, I've been boxing for the last 12 years.
Wow.
I mean, professional just means you get paid for it.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
it.
so-
That's it.
Barely,
So-
but
I was going to
Hey, it
ask,
doesn't matter.
That is
is
true.
that the gym paying you, the venue paying you, or sponsorships, or all the above? Or
All the above. All the above.
Wow, that's awesome. And
that's nice.
you guys want to plug any sponsorships right now? You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woodstock Trading Post.
Nice.
Oh,
local guys. I
Shout
love
out
it.
to Woodstock Trading Post. They got the best chicken wings around.
And they're even better a second time.
You eat those right before a fight? Is that
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
And after.
And you guys just fought last night.
Last
you said.
night. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to talk about how that went?
Yeah, Jesse, you kick it off.
We got to go up to Springfield at the AIC, which is just a college, international college up there. Not a bad venue. 3 basketball courts brought together, not like the Palladium where we fought our first fight June 1st, but it was very nice to have everybody go, and that brings the energy because this place didn't have like a real good DJ. It wasn't really meant for hosting like I don't know. I consider it like a party. That's what I consider like a fight. Is like it's a party. We're having fun.
Maybe
So-
for you, not the other guy. More like a funeral.
And so I'm lucky enough that it's only 8 fights, so it's not amateurs. There's like 20 fights. You're there. You got to be there early the day of, so it's like a 12, 13-hour affair,
Wow.
especially depending on how far it is. For us, we're pretty lucky. The fight starts at 3. I'm there at 2. And I just get changed, checked by the doctor real quick, and we're off and running. And we were left by 6 o'clock.
Oh,
Is there a weigh-in? Is that
So
like
we weigh in the day before.
so you have to go up there twice?
Yeah,
Or
we
you
had to
stay
go
so
there
both
then
ways.
right after that weigh-in, it's just wings for
Right.
like 24 hours.
Oh,
For
the heavyweights
me,
over
for
here.
me, it doesn't even matter. I don't have to
matter.
show up.
Oh yeah.
Anything over 203 pounds, it's for a free for all.
Oh,
after
okay.
that.
Yeah.
And so I came
Big
in
boy.
at 288, ready to go.
Hold on, a light 288.
Yeah, light 288.
He's light on his feet. It's a light 288.
And I got the fight first. That's 2 cards in a row. I've got the fight before, which I like. I like to get it done, relax, and I can watch him do his thing. I don't have to feel the pressure of following up his performance of knocking people out.
Yeah.
Get to go
You're
out
welcome.
and do that. But it was nice. We got first round knockouts, both of us. Last time we got second and third rounds, so we were able to cut our times in half, which is nice. But the bitter of the sweet is that second punch of the fight, I really hurt my bicep, and so
when you were punching somebody?
Yeah,
when you were
yeah.
punching the other guy?
hey, it's happened. It's part of the game.
Yeah.
But I was able to finish it with my left hand and threw it just as much as I could because I was really not feeling confident after. Because I don't know, it's not like you get a break. There's no breaks, right? Even if you're injured, you gotta wait or fall, and so you can't do that. So I throw the punch, I throw a right hook to his body, and I feel the pain right away, like a ghost came out and stabbed me in the arm.
Wow.
And so I start panicking. I shell up. He starts hitting me with like a dozen punches, right? So now I'm embarrassed, and now I'm shelling up and I'm backing up, which isn't like me. And but once I realized that I was there, like I thought my arm was just dangling down by my waist,
my
but
God.
it was up. So I was like, okay. So
Oh, wow. You really couldn't feel it at all.
yeah. So I'm like, all right. I catch my bearings, and I start firing back. I knock him down. I'm praying that he stays down. He gets up. So I said, all right, God said no to this one. I'm going to come out and fire. And so the highlight you'll be able to find is I'm resting my right arm on him,
Yes.
pushing him to my left and just feeding
One
him
hand.
lefts like he was a hungry redheaded stepchild. And I had to end that thing right away. Luckily, I was able to finish it with one hand, and chicken wings now.
Nice. It was spectacular. Do you guys know Evander Holyfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evander Holyfield had this nasty uppercut from the inside, and he'd throw it from weird angles. Jesse Davis that last night demonstrated that with the really nice, framed his opponent, stepped over to the side. His opponent was still facing where Jesse once was. Threw a nasty uppercut down the center, followed by a left hook that cracked him. It was crafty. It was brilliant. It was poetry in motion.
So that uppercut started on his left and then became a left hook as well.
Started with his injured hand.
Oh,
He's
his
such
injured-
a warrior. He
okay.
was using his
Excellent.
injured
Oh,
hand.
okay.
He
okay.
was.
Wow.
And a monstrous left hook.
Yeah.
It was vicious.
That's
Was he like knocked out, or was he down and then was like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, the second time he was down, he was too wobbly to.
Yeah, they
the
caught
ref
him.
stopped it.
And the refs call that. Huh?
Yeah.
They are trained to see that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
What's
Oh, yeah.
nice is in the amateurs, the biggest difference is in the amateurs. If you get hit, bang, big shot, and you kind of like they'll step in, they give you an 8 count. So you get 8 seconds. They go, "Are you good?" Basically, and you go, "Yeah, I'm good." And so they're not looking for knockouts. In the amateurs, you get hit, rocked, bang. Nobody's coming to save you. Then bang, bang, and you get to keep following up.
Oh,
So they only stop
The
if you're
pros.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that,
yeah.
The
even
pros
if you're
let it go.
standing.
Oh, okay.
The
you-
amateurs, they'll call it early.
Right. So that was an adjustment period that I had to go through. So, for instance, when he's throwing all of his punches, even if I'm blocking him, the ref will step in because
the
he's just throwing
amateurs,
punches. I'm
As
not
an
punching back.
amateur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my mind, my first fight, I was like, "Oh crap! The ref's gonna come in here and stop, and I'm gonna look like an idiot in front of all my friends." But
The
and then
pros let it go.
then he stops throwing. I'm like, "Oh, now he's tired." And then you get to come out, and that's what all the training's for is, and then learning those different nuances and everything, and having fun stories like that.
Aren't you at risk of losing to points though if you just get hit so many times? And
Yeah.
like if you didn't
right.
knock him out,
Right.
right, and he landed that many punches.
You're
Yeah.
right.
I mean, I don't know how they
No, you're right.
score things,
Yeah,
you know.
you're right.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah, and you'll be able to when they have a trained eye, so they'll be see what landed, what hit my gloves, what I was able to move from.
Right. Yeah,
But no, I didn't get like actually hit.
Oh, good.
This doesn't work straight here. But knocked my head a lot. But
So if like, do you get points for blocking stuff and like missing?
Not points, but what they do credit you is like ring generalship, which they can tell when a guy's commanding the ring. You know, maybe.
Okay.
So there was a guy named Willie Pep. He was out of Connecticut. I think he fought in the early 1900s.
Okay.
Maybe 19
Before they had
or
gloves.
30s.
kind
No,
of
they were
thing?
using
Oh,
gloves.
they were.
Wasn't like that, the
Yeah.
John Sullivan boxing, but Willie Pep was the only guy in, I believe, boxing history to win a round without throwing a single punch. His
Oh.
defensive prowess, we'll call it, his ring generalship won him the round without throwing a single punch.
Wow.
He was that slick.
That's awesome that you know the history.
I'm a
like that.
big boxing guy.
yeah,
That's
Dylan
awesome.
is as much has taught me a lot as well as coach. He knows so much about the game, and now with Paul opening up a thing in Florida, I've relied heavily on Dylan's knowledge of the art of boxing and the history of boxing to help me. Because the way I learn is I ask him like, who could I fight like realistically, and what aspects could I take from their game. Mike Tyson never came up, unfortunately, but he
George
picked guys
Foreman,
like George
baby.
Foreman, and so.
Yeah.
Oh, you could get a grill.
I go back and I watch his fights and see how he fights, and I go, okay, and I just mimic that. But otherwise, I'd be out there kind of on the fly without coach and Dylan's guidance. And
He was heavyweight, right?
George Foreman was a
Oh,
big
yeah.
time heavyweight.
Yeah.
Made a crazy comeback. You know, dominated in his youth. Took a step away from boxing because of life. Needed money, like we all do. It's a good motivator. And got back into boxing like later in life, and much heavier, and dominated once again. You know.
I think that's when
Yeah.
they gave him his contract with the grill.
Yes.
George Foreman.
Yeah.
He-
I believe he made more money from the grill than
Oh,
he did his
absolutely.
entire
Yeah.
boxing career. I have one.
There's an episode of Hulk Hogan had like a reality TV. He was actually offered that first.
Hulk
And
Hogan.
turned it down because it wouldn't sell, and he took this like other product that is long gone, and George Foreman grill's still around.
What a flop.
Yeah,
I want to
mean,
say like George Foreman was in some of his interviews like either they were paying people in George Foreman grills, or he was getting paid
Nice.
with George Foreman grills as like he could give them away.
They're fun. They're fun. I got one. I use it. I make
yeah,
like
we had
little
one.
flatbread sandwiches with it.
A story,
Quesadillas.
a story my a story my wife will appreciate. We had a George Foreman grill in our non-kitchen kitchen. So our first house was a full gut job,
Yeah.
and for she says 2 years. I don't remember it being that long. We had
Oh, if you did it, it was 2 years.
it was we had one of those plastic slop sinks. We had a folding table and a refrigerator, and on the folding table was a hot plate, a George Foreman grill,
Nice.
and a crock pot.
Nice. That's the bare necessities. A man could be satisfied.
Yeah, but there was a woman.
Yeah. It's not enough.
There's
There's
a
no marble
full-
counters.
There was a full working bathroom, right? that was what I was told were the requirements for moving in.
Look, I'm convinced we're simple creatures.
We are.
Yeah. We ended up finishing it.
Nice,
and
nice.
and there's some aspects of that kitchen she wishes we had in our new kitchen, so that's fine. We'll someday get there.
Nice. Work in progress.
Right. But no, yeah, the George Foreman grill, that's an epic sponsorship, and George
Yeah.
Foreman's obviously, epic himself and the whole thing. So
Yeah.
When did he stop boxing?
Ooh, that I don't know. I don't know. I know it was later in life, like late 40s. I think.
yeah,
Oh,
it was.
it
I
was.
think he came back as like a 40-year-old.
It's 47 or something like that.
I mean, dude, if someone's gonna pay you millions of dollars to hop in a ring and
Yeah.
even lose,
Yeah. It's millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
The unfortunate side of boxing is, as fans, we see these big paydays and we think, man, this guy's gonna be set for life. But when taxes get taken
Yeah.
out of it, and training fees, and there's all sorts of fees, opponent fees, all kinds of jazz.
And head trauma can make you impulsive as well. So the impulsiveness,
He's not wrong.
Spend, they tend to spend their money.
sounds like you
fast.
know something about that.
Well, yeah, I know a thing or two about being impulsive.
Well, there's studies that show about like the NFL and other sports that have the the CTE stuff and the
Yeah.
injury
Scary
stuff.
stuff.
Is like
Yeah.
it's and one thing that one large podcaster I referred to a lot, he was a big proponent for the MMA guys to be
Yeah.
putting away money that they really couldn't touch till retirement. That kind of thing.
Smart,
It was like
yeah.
a thing that he started with a lot of the fighters, and just the knowledge of like when you're a young fighter, your body only lasts so long. So if you're making money, you bank a lot of it, and try, not to.
Well, especially because retirement's not 60 something.
Yeah,
Right.
It's like
It's-
30 something.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're lucky. Paul is not just a gym owner and a trainer; he's a businessman. And
Nice.
he's really
Yeah.
turned that page over these. Basically, when he retired after his pro debut and his world record, he really has become a businessman. He's got a business coach, and he pays for that. But I don't have to pay him to be my business coach. So I'm taking advantage of that and learning the things that he's changed. And because a lot of people, especially with gyms, is you get a gym and you go, okay, this is my gym and it's a business, right? But it's a gym. People should just come, right? That's not how it works. And Paul has been able to grow this gym because he treats it like a business,
Yeah.
right? So, okay, commercials, fun events. A lot of people with gyms just get it. Go, people want to work out, they'll show up, and you just sit and wait. And you have 20 people. The reason how you get 200 people is you have different programs
Yep.
that are geared to a lot of different people, right?
A podcast.
Sign us up for podcasts.
Video hosts, dodgeball
Videos.
tournaments, dunk
Yeah,
tanks.
celebrity dunk tanks, and we're always doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nice. And then we meet other business people like Woodstock Trading Post, their restaurant, but
New
he's
York
a young
Pizza.
businessman, young entrepreneur. He's only 21,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
got a
they are young. Yeah.
family business.
20. He's 20.
Can't even drink, dang.
Oh, isn't it
Yeah.
brothers? Isn't it
Yes.
Two brothers?
Yep. Two
Yeah.
brothers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Best chicken wings around.
Yeah.
Good pizza, too. And then, but we get to learn and all those aspects that will make me successful in 10 years when I'm not throwing punches anymore.
Right.
And when I'm trying to help run, I plan on going down to Florida. We're going to open up a fourth branch of Rude Dog Boxing in Bradenton.
Where's
and
that?
that is in Florida, the Gulf Coast of Florida,
Gulf
south of
Coast,
Tampa.
okay.
and love palm trees.
Yeah, we have
Love
four.
palm.
We have four. We have four. Bradenton's running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up, and so we're growing that right now. That's where Coach Paul is getting that going and is up and running.
Nice.
And then I plan on going down there to help him grow that. And to do that, though, we learn a lot about business, and I'll be able to learn from the best because he's turned something that was owned by a serial killer in a chicken coop into a very successful business. So that's exciting. Having a lot of things on the stove, you can say. I got boxing. We're learning how to run businesses. We're learning how to run our programs. We're learning how to do advertisements like this and all that jazz, and while having fun and not working our life away at the same time, which is
Right. You have a
It is work,
balance.
but we love it.
Yeah.
So it does. It's
Yeah.
life and balance.
Yeah,
You just
life
said
and
it.
Awesome.
Nice. But
You never work a day in your life if you love what you do.
you love what you do, and
Yeah.
as of the last few years of my life, I was a landscaper before, and not that I have anything against landscaping, but I did think that was going to be my life, my career, and the doors that open in boxing have changed, and I'm in a new position now, and I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
I feel like this is where I truly belong
Right. Right.
in boxing, whether it be in the ring, under the center stage, or behind the scenes, just helping young fighters out, or helping the elderly just walk, or teaching kids to believe in themselves. Like, I don't know, for me, that's fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the fighting sports do so much for kids' discipline and focus and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
I was once very lost, and without the structure and discipline of boxing, who knows? I don't know. Who knows?
wow, that's powerful. So you guys talked about you have one in Florida, one in Brooklyn. Where are the other two?
One in Putnam, Connecticut, that just opened up. So this is how Rude Dog Boxing operates. We like doing things, going big. So we opened up one in Putnam, Connecticut, in that Price Chopper Plaza, and it's actually part owned. Paul's Rude Dog Iannuzi's 50%. The other half is Matthew Chuck, who became the youngest gym owner in the country
Oh wow.
at 18 years old. 18. He is,
Wow.
and they've only been open since June 1st, and they're already killing it. They're already
Yeah.
crushing it.
Nice.
You should, if you are interested in boxing, you're in the Putnam area, go check it out. You're gonna be blown away on how amazing this facility is, how caring the staff is, and how your idea of boxing, the stereotype, does not fit what this gym embodies. It's like everyone has a place.
Now, I mean, correct me. I always thought boxing was like a gentleman's sport. Like when somebody goes down, everything stops and you wait till they
It
get
should
back
be
up,
that
and
way.
it should be.
That's not how it is anymore.
It's not how the world operates.
not.
Yeah.
It's not. I came from a jiu-jitsu background. I started martial arts when I was 18 doing jiu-jitsu. I just started doing this 3.5 years ago.
Oh wow.
So it's interesting coming from like an Eastern style. All those guys think a little bit more like that, like the ranking system. Like everyone knows, and like you know that guy's better than you because he's wearing it, and you know not to be disrespectful or challenge him in any way. With boxing, there's guys that are ripped up at the gym can't box worth their salt, right?
Right.
And I'm the fattest guy there, and I'm the best besides Dylan and coach, right? So it's like you when you go to a boxing gym, most other gyms, not our gym, you have to like poke around and see. And some guys who are mean, who take that as disrespect, if they're really good, they'll teach you a lesson, and usually that comes with people not coming back to the gym.
Not at Rude Dog Boxing.
But not at Brewdog Boxing. That is, we have it all. We have a great system where it's all set up, and you're not going there to test how tough you are. We have it so you're there to train boxing, and your skill will show it based on the exercises and what we have, the little tests you could say that we do when we have you spar. We'll be able to see how good you are in a safe way that doesn't get you hurt because you think you're tough, or get someone else hurt who's not confident and they don't know what they're doing. So we have a great way of balancing all sorts of personalities out with safely, which is super important. But the gentleman's sport isn't quite a thing. That's why all these gyms are so small. Because this guy, we'll say you want to join the gym, and you want to spar, right? You're a lot of guys have an ego, so they want to spar. They go,
Just test it out.
yeah, I
see
just
what
want
they
to I
got.
want to spar, and you throw hard because you're like, well, let's see what I can do. And then this guy goes, this guy just hit me hard. I've been boxing for 4 years. I'll just piece him apart, bang, bang, bang. Now you're out at the end of the month.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
that gentleman sport
Yeah.
aspect is not um, very common
Gotcha.
throughout many gyms. We'll
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, Rude Dog Boxing is my third boxing gym I've ever been a part of, and the reason why I left the other two was because of that reason.
Gotcha.
You know, I was young and just, you know, I was just young and just had no confidence and just wanted to, build some confidence and get in shape and whatnot. And you go in there and you get tuned up by some guy who knows a little bit about boxing, and you realize, like, man, I'm just not built for this. But that wasn't the case. I just was at the wrong facility. When you come to Rude Dog Boxing, we have a mentality of everybody's a somebody, even if you think you're a nobody. We build you from the ground up. See, fighters are built.
Okay.
They're built. You have to
Yeah.
build a fighter. Everyone has the potential of being, quite the success in the sport if treated properly.
Right.
We have some young, talented guys coming up. You just can't feed them to the wolves right now. It'll
right.
decimate them. It'll kill them. They won't want to come back.
Yeah.
You give them a good competitive matchup, something to build their confidence. Not a layup or a free throw, but give them something where they're challenged. They'll rise to the occasion, feel better about themselves, and now they're leveling up.
Yeah.
It's like a very delicate process. So
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is people don't set their goals, their bar, low enough. They set their bar too high, out of reach, and you'll never reach it. You gotta set your bar just out of reach where after you work hard for a little while, you can reach it, right? Like, I want to lose weight. I don't want to lose 100 pounds. That's not my goal. My goal is to lose 10. I lost 10, and this could go for everyone who's trying to lose weight, join the gym, lose weight. Everyone goes, they're overweight. They go, I want to lose 50 pounds. And after a month, you've only lost 2 or 3, and you go, well, that goal's never a thing. But if your goal was to lose 7 pounds, all of a sudden now you're halfway there, and you go, oh,
Small
I can get that.
Yeah.
I'm already halfway
Right.
there. I can do it. But
Yeah.
people come in with, their goals set too high. And the
yeah, they
bar
come in the
down low.
gym first week. They tell me they want to be a world champion.
Yeah.
Try being an amateur champion first. See if it's even for you. There was a time in the amateurs where I lost 4 fights in a row by way of TKO. And I remember being in Fall River. I'm in some alleyway and I'm crying and I'm like, I don't think I'm as good as I thought I was. I don't think I'm cut out for boxing. And I'm glad I didn't step away from it because I wouldn't be here talking to you guys as an undefeated pro now. But it's like it's such a tough sport. It really is. If you want to be competitive, and this goes to all my guys that want to be fighters one day. Take it a day at a time. Take it a fight at a time. Don't come in the gym saying you got to be a world champion. I tell my guys, try to be the best amateur you can be,
Nice.
and see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
I kind of get what Jesse's saying. Just set a little more realistic expectations,
Right.
and you won't be so devastated when it.
Yeah, and a good coach, which it seems like you guys are, and so is Paul. You kind of see the strengths and the weaknesses, and then you have them build on the weaknesses as well as the strengths, and then they become an all around boxer first, and then kind of move up that in that way where there's not as many surprises as like, okay, you're going to fight this guy, he's going to be challenging, but you can do it,
Right,
kind of
right.
thing, and that whether you win or lose, it was anybody's fight. Not
Right.
I'm going into this and I'm going to get annihilated,
Yeah,
or not
yeah.
going to go into this and I'm going to annihilate them.
Yep.
That kind of thing. Not really a blowout sport where where it can be dangerous for
Yes.
people.
So we've learned this skill, and we don't take it lightly because at Rude Dog Boxing we actually host amateur tournaments. In fact, November 3rd, we're hosting at the Putnam location. It's going to be the first one at this location, and it is a amateur belt tournament. You guys, if you got nothing
Yeah.
going on that day, it's
Dude,
exciting.
November 3rd.
Yeah.
I don't.
November 3rd.
That's not ringing a bell. So
Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
No.
It is. It's a amateur belt tournament. Fighters from all over are gonna come to it,
yeah.
and you're gonna see people from all over competing for a top of the line belt. We've customized what I think is the best belt in amateur boxing right now. I mean, it has like on the leather. It's made of metal, so it's heavy. It's got fur lining on the inside. It's real leather, and on the leather, it's got a design. The name of the tournament is called the War of the Worlds, and on the leather design, it's a planet exploding.
Wow.
It's just super, super cool. And November 3rd, it's going to be at the Putnam Rude Dog Boxing. And tickets will be available at the door. And you're going to see a day of just exciting amateur boxing. You know, the next up and coming world champions.
And what time a day would it start? And
It'll start around like 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
okay,
And it
goes
because
to
it's
the-
amateurs, we host a lot of fights. It's a long card, so
Yes.
it'd be a few hours.
Nice.
And then
You'll get your money's worth.
yeah, you
for
get your
sure.
money's
right.
worth, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then we dip out. We have local sponsors in the area that we frequent their places of food and drinks and everything.
Yeah.
And so you get to see everyone after, which is really cool. Is not a lot of people disperse. Everyone we all kind of hang out together afterwards.
Yeah.
Opponents and home team.
Yeah.
Boxers.
Putnam's a great spot for that.
Yeah.
This is the one. This is gonna be in Putnam.
This is going to be the first one at the brand spanking new Putnam location.
Nice.
But we've hosted many at the Brooklyn location.
the chicken coops.
The chicken coop.
Chicken coops is fun.
And it is epic. It is epic. You know, it's just great to see the young, hungry athletes, taking a chance to be great.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's all about. And we're gonna have a lot of people competing from Rude Dog Boxing, and this is gonna be some of their first fights, so they
Wow.
get a taste of it. And it's gonna be exciting.
That's
Another cool thing is the ring that we use. Paul bought a professional ring, and it was the ring he broke his world record in.
Oh, wow.
He bought that thing, put it in there, which is really cool. Our ring in Brooklyn's only like a foot off the ground. This one is like waist high, so you get the
Okay.
metal steps. You get up in
Yeah.
the ring. It's professional grade, and not a lot of boxing gyms can say that they have two full-sized rings. And
Wow, that's
so
awesome.
yeah, we got an experience. You get to feel like you're a pro. We'll get we get walkout songs, which
Yeah.
amateurs don't get.
Yeah.
We
The belts
you
are
your-
better than
the-
pro belts.
way better than pro belts.
Seriously,
better.
Paul is quite the extravagant guy. Anything
Yeah.
he does, he always tells me, good is not good enough. You
Right.
got to go for great.
Yeah.
And he's the kind of guy who, like, when he watches football, he gets upset when they make those safe little passes. He's like, throw the ball down the field. He
Yeah.
wants to see those
I'm
Hail
actually the
Marys
same
and
way.
big
Yeah.
plays. He's like, you're supposed to be great. Be great.
Yeah.
Don't
And
play
then
it safe.
Also, just like keeping focus on those little details that make everything so much better.
Yes.
Like, we have a local fair that at one point they didn't buy the belt buckles for the guys that were bringing all their horses in and stuff and doing barrel racing and doing all those different competitions with horses. And they wouldn't, when they won this competition, they weren't even getting the little belt buckle.
Yep.
And it was like, why?
Devastating.
Why
probably.
wouldn't you do that? They, they're spending diesel fuel, all kinds of time and money to get there and do it and put on this big show for all the spectators and stuff. And it was just like, why wouldn't you buy their little belt buckle that they
Right.
win, And
Right.
to hear that he, goes the extra mile with those little details.
Way the extra mile.
That's awesome.
Some might say too far.
Yeah. And, regardless if Kyle and I can make it on November 3rd, definitely send us a message and we'll promote it.
That's
week,
awesome.
week ahead of time for sure. We do our mid to late week reminder about our own show, but we love plugging local events. If we know about them, we
Yeah, even if you have like a flyer or a logo or
Yeah.
something to
Yeah.
give the details, we can
Yeah,
throw
if
it
you
up.
guys
You know.
follow Rude Dog Boxing on Facebook, we're
Yeah,
very
yeah.
active. In fact, we've hired a guy who is a part of our gym, but he has an interest in social media and marketing,
yeah.
and he's our full-time social media
That's
guy.
awesome.
So he'll follow us around with cameras. Shout out to Winky. He's
Winky.
yeah, Winky. He's a good friend.
Is that his boxing name?
That is
Because-
that is his nickname. I don't want to say it's his boxing name because Winky's got to get into a ring to get a boxing name.
Oh, is that how it works?
But he trains at our gym, and he's one of my best friends, and he's very talented with the social media. If you actually watch some of our TikToks and Facebook videos, they're very good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, when this will go on YouTube, he can
Yeah.
download it and chop it up and
Nice.
do whatever you guys
Yeah.
want. It's all yeah, you can do whatever
Make
you
the
want.
reels and the shorts and all those things out of it.
Nice.
And
We
the-
actually
and
just
the
had,
doodads and
yeah.
It's an art form. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh
it's
my
like-
gosh,
it's-
yeah.
And that's, I mean, we like, I have to someday sit down and do some of that
Right.
for us to promote our platform more. But you know, we just had somebody use our footage on their reels that they're using for their, I mean, multi-state business, and
Wow.
it was really cool to see like our footage up on their reel, and I was like, oh, I'm sharing that. That was so
this will
cool.
definitely make it
Yeah.
on my Facebook.
Yeah,
page
this
for
will-
Sure.
yeah,
this
will
is
be-
cool.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people. I don't listen to a lot of music. I like people talking.
Mhm.
I like listening to stories more than music. So I'm always listening to podcasts. So I'll definitely be
Are
listening.
there boxing podcasts out there?
I'm
Yes,
sure
there are.
there's
There are
millions of
tons.
podcasts.
Can we
and-
Say names of podcasts.
You
Sure,
can, sure.
I don't care.
Yeah, there's this fighter named Sean Porter. He's he'll never hear this because. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys.
Never's a strong word here.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of this guy named? You know, when I heard podcast, I was disappointed we didn't make the Joe Rogan podcast.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
But no, this is a podcast called the Porter Way Podcast, which is about boxing. But Teddy Alice has one. There's not many boxing
Yeah,
podcasts.
we have 508. 508.
Oh, there's some local ones. Yeah.
podcast guy.
That from Massachusetts?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
from Massachusetts. He's a super Irish guy, so whatever. We'll let him slide on that one. But great podcast.
Aren't you
I
Irish?
was. I'm not Irish.
Oh.
No.
Is it the Irish we're letting him slide on, or living in Massachusetts?
Both. But he has a local boxing podcast that we were on, and he's a cool guy. He's an
Yeah.
awesome guy.
That's cool.
But yeah, we'll definitely be sharing this, and I'll be listening to you guys now a lot more too. Not this episode, but other. I'll definitely.
You sound like Kyle. I don't want to hear my
Oh,
voice.
listen, watch commercials.
Like, wait, I know these guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe we should duck a punch if we're watching this, thinking, hey, I know those guys.
It's funny. I one of the tests for me when I started this podcast was, you know, is it something I would listen to? You know what I mean? You kind of
Yeah.
ask and kind of put your like, what do I listen for? Kind of thing. And then I started listening. I'm like, wow, I like, because I don't remember everything we're talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? In the moment.
I don't even remember having breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, and
I
then,
do
you
get
know,
punched in the head, though.
and when I listen,
Yeah.
like I definitely will critique myself a lot, and then also, you know, I'm like, oh, it kind of like reinforces the education that you got, because I like this is super interesting to me for
Yeah.
sure, and especially the fighting sports. I went to one of my cousin's wrestling matches just after I went out of high school, and he was younger, and
Yeah.
he was in high school, and it was a new wrestling team over at Ellis, and it was just so intense. I couldn't believe how much my heart was racing,
Yeah.
you know, watching. And then
Yeah.
for a little while, I worked at Mohegan Sun Arena Security.
Nice.
and
They
got to
yeah.
see a ton of boxing matches there, and some of the MMA stuff, and it was just it was so cool to see that, and see like even like people that are in the ring fighting, and then immediately after they're like arm in arm,
Yeah.
you know, talking about it.
Yeah.
They're, you know what I mean? And I remember one kid got another guy into a figure four, and like he literally passed out before they could break it up, and he was super concerned, and even afterwards, like he
Yep.
had one. It's like his family and fans want to lift him up and stuff, but he
Yep.
was like with the other fighter,
Yeah.
like dude, you know,
You gotta love it.
It was
You gotta love
it was
it.
so cool to see that, you know, like you know, it's not, you're not fighting out of hate. It's not like a lot of, that's the big misconception, I think, for
Major
boxing,
misconception.
yeah, and it's not that, it's an art form.
Yes.
And
I was asked the other day by somebody, and she was like, I just can't picture you as a boxer because you just seem like such a happy, nice boy.
boy, dude,
yeah, she hit me with that too. I'm like, man. And I'm like, you're right. But I've never been angry in the ring. I've truly never been angry in the ring.
It's just
In the
about
ring,
technique.
technique. It's an art
Yeah.
form. One of my idols, Sugar Ray Leonard.
oh wow,
He was a gentleman of the sport, a real professional, and he fought Big Bad Roberto Duran, who was acting not so professional and talking all kinds of smack to him. And I just want to be that nice, just happy to be here, love my people kind of guy. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to do my job.
Yeah.
But I've never been angry in the ring. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. That's
Can't
cool to hear
recall.
that perspective.
Yeah.
So
Have you guys ever tried any combat sports, anything like that?
I fought with my brother relentlessly
Yeah.
in the yard.
Oh.
He was 2.5 years older than me, so it was a thing.
Yeah, you're fighting for your life.
I did judo for a couple of years when I was real young. Got up to yellow belt,
Nice. That's where they.
which is the second belt, by the way.
That's when they throw and toss you, right? There's like
Yeah.
tosses
Yep.
and throws. Yeah.
Yeah, using the body weight and stuff. I was like, I think it was like first, second, and third grade is when I was doing that. So
Wow.
it was young, and actually, my parents bought me a book about judo from a bookstore and stuff. So I was like, was kind of into it. I don't really know why I got out of it. I really can't remember, but I
Probably
rem-
girls. Girls is a big reason why boys
in
get out
third
of
grade.
sports.
I hope not, because my kids are above that age.
Did you suck?
That could have been it too.
I do remember winning in the tournament and getting my yellow belt in front of the class, and then going for the second tournament and thinking I was going to get orange belt, but I did get tossed pretty hard.
Mm.
But I think just soccer came about, and it was just more interesting. I
you
don't
found
know
one
what
that
it
you liked.
was. It was, it was. I really don't know why I didn't really get into it more so as an adult, because I even had a buddy growing up with that was super into karate, and
Yeah.
and his dojo came to our school multiple years to do demonstrations. I always thought that was cool too. So
Yeah, it's very cool. The
yeah,
katas that they do and stuff.
yeah.
It's cool.
So what
Yeah.
made you switch to boxing?
So I used to work in Massachusetts, and that's where all the Brazilians are, and so that's why I was doing jujitsu up there.
Interesting.
And then COVID hit, and so everything shut down, especially in Massachusetts. And so I gained a ton of weight, not on purpose, and wasn't working in Massachusetts anymore. And so I was looking for a new martial arts gym, just anything in general. Went to a few jujitsu spots, didn't really like it. Found a local boxing gym because I lived in Hampton at the time.
Connecticut?
And, yep, Hampton. And so 5 minutes down the road on Route 6 was Rude Dog Boxing. So I actually met him because I bought a cable crossover machine during COVID to build a home gym. And then I said, as soon as you guys open up, let me know. I'm going to come down and check it out. And so, yeah, January 1st, 2021, I went down and joined the gym and never thought ever that I'd be.
Jesse is a phenomenon. I don't know many athletes that within 3 years become professional.
Wow.
I mean, just
Yeah.
think about that in anything you do. That'd be like deciding we're going to play tennis next week, and in 3 years, I'm in Wimbledon.
Right.
That's just not
Yeah,
going to
that's
happen. but
wild.
Jesse pulled it off, and it's really incredible.
How many days a week you train?
5, sometimes 6 if I'm feeling frisky or bored.
now the dojo's your full-time job too, right?
Training is kind of my full-time focus. Yeah,
And then training other people.
training. I do Life and Balance in the morning, and I do Camp Heroes with the kids, and then training with the adults.
Yep.
And then, but then in between, like we were doing landscaping. Dylan was dumb enough to let me work with him on some of those jobs.
Moving some dirt.
Yeah,
But now,
cutting grass.
now that I'm managing Rude Dog Boxing Brooklyn, I'm full time into
Yeah.
boxing now. So I'm living my dream.
That's
It's really,
awesome.
That's a lot more fun than doing anything else. It's just even though like the money's not there yet,
Yeah.
I'd
It'll
be
get
broke
there.
anyways. I'll be broke. doing whatever I was doing.
That's the impulse he was talking about.
we might have made the right decision.
But I don't mind at all. Money's not my motivation, and so
Right.
and then how I ended up kind of getting into being a pro is after my first little like the show like we have in Putnam. I said, you know what, screw it. I used to compete in jiu-jitsu and international tournaments and all that, and so I wasn't afraid of fighting and competing. But I was gonna try this thing at boxing, and so after that, coach invited a lot of us over to his house, has a few drinks. I knew he was drunk at the time, but he's like, you could go pro. And I was like, all right, let me try it. I'm just going to focus 100% these next 3 years. And yeah, so I joined January 1st, and by August, I was in the finals of the Golden Gloves.
Wow.
And then I really like that story, not to brag, but because that's a similar route that my coach had.
Yeah.
He joined in the winter of 64. And I
think it was 38.
Yeah.
Oh, just-
38 AD.
you guys know he's going to listen to this.
Oh, yeah. Check under our card. He is Italian. Kaboom.
And within 3 months, he was in the Golden Gloves. And he won. I didn't win my finals match.
He did. He got robbed. He got robbed big time. I was there, and I'm not just saying that because he's my boy.
Yeah.
Everyone, including all the people who were in Fall River, thought that Jesse Davis won all 3 rounds.
Was it decided by judges?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, boxing is a crooked sport, as you guys know.
So unless you TKO.
Yeah, you gotta knock them. Don't leave it to the judges.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
leave it to
hard.
the judges.
He was from Fall River. The fight was in Fall River. And when in amateurs you fight with big gloves and headgear, and it's like I feel like it's like I'm punching with pillows. No matter how
Oh,
hard I
okay.
hit, it's just not.
Now it's different.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
have the same consequences. It's all points,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I still think outpointed him for sure. But
Yeah, how do you win a fight from taking punches off the forehead?
yeah, I don't know. They figured it out though.
Yeah.
They figured it out. And but that's my story how that started and that journey to become a professional started, and then it got real dark because like Dylan, I lost every fight in between. From my first fight, I won my first fight, which was a Golden Gloves fight, lost the finals, and lost every fight until my final amateur fight. And I said, if I lost this amateur fight in April, this was in April, 7 months ago, I was like, I'm done boxing. And
Really?
yeah, the good Lord allowed me to win that fight, and now I'm 2-0 as a pro, 2 knockouts.
Well, maybe that's what it was. You putting your back against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
mentality. You know?
Yeah, because I was like, I just can't go train every day, fight every 4 months, and lose for 2 years. It was going on 3 years. I was like,
Wow.
I gotta do something. I gotta figure this
Yeah.
thing out.
Yeah.
My thing with the amateurs now is based upon living through those experiences. My mindset has changed. When I was a competitor, all I wanted to do was win. I wanted to win every round and win every second. In fact, my first time at the Golden Gloves, I fought 3 times to get to the finals, and my first 2 fights, I won every single round of the fight. So I won 6 rounds in a row, and that was just my mentality. I wanted to win. Now when I look at amateurs and I look back at the losses I've taken, I feel like I didn't really lose, but I learned.
Right. Right.
And I think that's what's big about the amateurs is not so much the win-loss column. You're not making money from it, but you are learning. You're fighting all different types of people, all different styles. You're not going to be great at everything, but that's
Right.
that's how you get the experience.
Right. Right. Yeah. Getting an experience is definitely, and I think like it's a lot of our society where like a lot of people don't realize you can aim high and miss.
Yes.
And you're still
Yep.
way better off than the person that
Yeah.
aimed
gotta-
low and
yeah.
hit.
I got
You
a
know what I
saying where
mean?
it's like, shoot for the moon, you might miss and hit a star.
right.
It's like I'm the type of guy that like I'm a big dreamer, and I'll go towards those dreams, and if it doesn't work out, well, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm just some people. I don't know that it's just life, right? You gotta learn how to take your losses,
Right.
and
Yeah.
learn how to take your victories too. When you have a great day, it's just a great day. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean that's every day. When you have a bad day, it's just a bad day. Doesn't mean it's every day.
Yeah. And the fact that you guys have, what seems like a strong team
It helps.
or,
Yeah.
community of people to lean back on. I mean, when you're winning,
Yeah.
they need you.
Yeah.
When you're losing, you
Yeah.
need them, so
it's just kind of
like
funny how
give and take.
sometimes when you're losing, everyone disappears. It's very lonely in
Well,
that
you
Fall
know
River
what?
alleyway.
You can come on the podcast anytime you want when you're losing if you want to talk it out.
yeah. We just won't get there. We'll never know what it's like. Just saying.
You know, I've heard numerous sayings about like success and stuff, but one of the best ones is that you were dreaming about today one day, right?
Yes, I
And
really was.
you don't like it might not have been this specific, right? But you were dreaming of being this successful one day. And now that
Absolutely.
day's here. And I think perspective is all you need. Just you look back, and especially for you guys when you see them doing, you know, all those Parkinson's people come in
Yes.
and you see them
Right.
change, right?
Yes.
They improve, they light up,
Yeah.
everything about them changes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is like priceless.
I mean, regaining mobility for anyone is freedom. You're
Yeah.
giving them
Yes.
more and
Yeah.
more freedom.
Yeah.
That's so powerful.
I mean, it's been 6 hours.
chills.
I haven't been using my right arm, and I'm already sick of it. So I could imagine like
oh, yeah.
having to use a walker all the time and not just feeling like unbalanced, just lifting up to reach a cabinet and feeling like you're gonna fall backwards.
Yeah, and that's the rest of their life.
Right, that's
These are-
every day,
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And these are people that at one point, you know, we had clients that used to be commercial airline pilots,
Right.
surgical doctors. You know, I'll never be something that incredible. And now here they are. They can't tie their shoes.
Yeah.
It's just wow, humble.
I want to bring that analogy back up. If everybody threw their problems on the table, you'd probably pull yours back. You know,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yep.
Think of, and that goes right along with perspective. Is everything.
Yeah.
But on the bright side of those kind of problems, the biggest thing is if you don't use it, you lose it. And what mainly happens is they retire and they're enjoying retirement, and you're not as active when you're.
Yeah.
You
You're
become
not-
Most people
stagnant.
aren't as active when they're enjoying their retirement.
I don't know, man. Pickleball is fierce. now.
Pickleball is
and,
crazy.
and there are like they put up that pickleball in Brooklyn, and it was like that. There's leagues
Yeah.
every morning. We
Yeah.
walk the dogs, and there's all these people.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yep.
you think they have an age limit? Because I probably would fit right.
So just today, I asked my girlfriend. I was like, "Hey, you think if I ordered some pickleball rackets and a pickleball that you would play with me? Because I think that sport's awesome.
Yeah.
It looks
Awesome.
great.
Well, you know
super
what?
fun.
It's like it's shorter than tennis. You're not running a lot,
Yeah.
so it's like everybody can do it.
Yes,
You know, and
yeah.
so you're just getting out there and being active, and it's not running. You're doing
No.
something like more enjoyable.
A couple of years ago, I played it down in Florida, and I had such a great time.
Yeah.
That's such a fun sport. Shout out to pickleball. Maybe we get sponsored by some pickleball
Yeah,
team.
right.
I
Oh,
don't
there you
know.
How do sponsors work for you guys?
The sponsors for us were, if any businesses are listening and you're local and you want to support some young studs in your area, we're always taking sponsorships. And what it is we'll put you on our fight shorts. We'll promote you at our press conferences. I'll showcase you on our social media pages. It's just public exposure, and I will represent your brand professionally and proudly. And yeah, contact me at Dylan Roberts on Facebook, or reach out to Rude Dog Boxing and say I'm interested in sponsoring these two local pros. And
Yeah, something that we have too is we're a huge gym, and so if you offer a service, we have a lot of people of various ages and different needs
Right.
that are one. If you're hosting an event as like a restaurant, we'll bring 50 people if you're our sponsor, which
At
is
least.
worth more than
At
what you're
least.
ever going to
Yeah.
pay us.
Yeah, 200 people. That's a lot of clients
Yeah.
for any
Yeah.
one sponsor.
Yeah.
Or if you do, you do roofing. Well, we have 50 people that owns homes that are in Connecticut. We know how old those houses are. That okay, you gave us $400, but you made $10,000 on doing a roof.
So the
Oh.
cool thing about it is, you said we have 200 people, but out of those 200 people, they all have close friends,
Right.
tight families.
Yeah.
When we have events, I mean, it's crazy. On our debuts, our professional debuts, we sold out the venue. And in fact, we sold so many tickets that on my debut, they had to put me before the co-main event.
Huh.
So before me was an 8-round title fight. And I'm like, I'm a debuter, but they didn't want us, all of our fans, to leave the venue early. If they put us in the beginning where we're supposed to be
Yeah.
as
They would-
debuters,
you would've left.
the venue would have emptied out, and it does.
It does.
After our fight, the venue empties out because Rude Dog Boxing is such a amazing community, and they just want to, they're just super supportive,
Yeah.
and they bring people.
And a shout out to Wink.
Shout out to Winky for the
Winky.
social media here. Yeah.
I think maybe we need to have Winky on.
You guys would love Winky.
We need a Winky.
You just can't take our Winky. We're fighting over a Winky. This guy would love it so much. You can have him. Yeah. Whatever we pay him,
It's
it's
too
too much. No. We love Winky. I hope he watches.
Whatever we get paid is too much.
Hey, stop it. Didn't we just have this conversation?
Nice.
Yeah. Do you guys have any sponsorships like that you?
So we had the American Legion paid for a couple of host reads or 3 host reads. And when we had our Memorial Day special,
Black Pond
Brewery,
brewery, yeah.
one of
jumped right in and said, "Hey, I want to donate all the beer for that episode." And,
Okay.
you know, the 5 of us
Yeah.
just drank
The
Black
next
Pond
time
Brewery
Black
beer.
Pond's on, invite the sponsors there. I'll just
Yeah.
be quiet in the corner.
Those guys are doing awesome up there, and they're real pillars of the community, and they're definitely, you know, they're like what you want for small business and anything. They're awesome, and yeah,
We're blessed in this quiet corner to have such,
Yeah.
like you said, Putnam and like Killing. I know Putnam is on fire. I feel.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
the
they've
Small
done
Business
so much for small
Association.
business,
Yeah.
and it's you know, it's what they've done just attracts.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a realtor, I know the real estate. It's like
Yeah.
it's hotspot, you know,
Yeah.
and now like the outer towns are doing the same thing.
Yes.
Thompson, Killingly, Plainfield, they're
Danielson.
all
Danielson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what did I say, Killingly.
Yeah.
No.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
But
But different.
they're like their main streets are
I don't
coming
know where the
alive.
line is.
Well,
Does
Danielson's the borough. Of
Yeah.
Killingly.
Nobody. Oh, you blink and you went through Danielson.
What I'm saying is all of their main streets are coming alive,
Yeah.
and you know, we're bringing back, like, you know, I always think of it. I grew up like going to a couple places in Maine, and then also Mystic. Like, they always had these main streets where all these shops were like, people love going in
Booming.
and out of them.
Yeah.
They were like a vacation spot,
Yep.
and there's no reason why we can't be that. I mean,
Downtown Putnam has turned
The-
into that.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
and they
Yeah.
and they do the, you know, Fire and Ice. It's like 30,000 people in Putnam that day, and
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys should do. Well, that wasn't open, but if you paired an event
Yeah.
with that, right? There's already so many people
Yeah,
there,
That's
and they
smart.
creeped down to the bank, right?
oh yeah,
So they
they're-
got right to the edge of where you guys are.
oh, and then
Sweeping
there's
the other
that-
day.
there's the new bar, the quarterback there. That's
Yeah.
quarterback.
They're
the bar.
two built.
there.
They're 2 doors away from.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
they
they,
do bar.
they're like,
Yeah.
I feel like
Never been.
their parking lot is always just stomped with cars.
Yeah, I mean, they
you
even
know,
do
at night.
cornhole in the parking
Yeah,
lot.
they
It's
have-
fun. It's a fun place. It's a
So-
fun place.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good spot for you guys to be up there, right? Because after these things, you guys
Yeah.
can still go out with the community and then put the money right back into the town.
Yes.
You know.
Mm.
And that is what we like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great to see the turnaround of everything, because when I was even in high school, which was only 20 years ago,
That's fun.
I mean, we had a whole different name for Putnam, and
Okay.
it was
yes,
it was-
I
it
think I know the
was-
name because it was
there-
even when I was in high school.
Well, then there was, you know, there was kids that were at Ellis with us because of, you know, Putnam's, like, their
Reputation.
Reputation.
well, that and the just the their, you know, when a school has credits, right?
Accreditation.
Accreditate. That's the
Mm.
word I was trying. I almost made up a word. I almost made up a word.
You know, you got so close.
That's a dangerous
It was
place.
Shoot from the hip. That's all I do. No, their accreditation was in question and everything.
Yeah.
So it was wild to see the turnaround and all the events that they do, and how much they do for the small business community. And I love to see these towns like
Flourish,
replicating
yeah.
and flourishing.
Because if they win, we all win.
Right,
you know?
exactly. And so we've talked about Brooklyn, Putnam, Florida. Where's the fourth one?
Smithfield, Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Smithfield,
Where
Rhode
in
Island.
Smithfield?
So there's like the plaza where, do you know,
Right.
is it Price Chopper?
Price Choppers Putnam Stop and Shop
Stop
in
and Shop.
Smithfield.
In Smithfield, if you're coming from here on 44 on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the
That's
right.
it.
So
Okay.
what's
Yeah.
cool about those locations, and unlike the Brooklyn location, they have nice signage on the side of the road,
Yeah,
like
on
in those plaza
Yeah.
signs
Yeah, and they're
that
busy
says
roads.
Rude Dog Boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brooklyn at this point does very well just word of mouth.
Nostalgia.
The nostalgia. We've worked so hard to create a product that is second to none, that it sells itself now.
Well,
These other locations, they're doing great because, like you said, there's foot traffic.
So what brought him to Smithfield?
One of our guys, Thomas Hall, shout out to Tom Hall. He came up through our program around here, and fell in love with it and wanted to do something on his own. And he's a Rhode Island guy,
Yeah.
so it made sense. Let's bring you closer to home, my friend, and we put him in Smithfield.
Oh,
see that? Another Rhode Island town.
I'm from the
guy.
town of Rhode Island as well.
Yeah, even though it's just right over the line. Yeah, Rhode Island's so small.
It is.
But I do love it.
Yeah, but you can get to everything any day of the week.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to pack a lunch.
No,
You do have,
that's for sure.
You have to pack like $6 to get across some of the bridges, but
Yeah, well, you want to talk about taxes? The state of Connecticut's leading this country in taxation.
but people are moving here like crazy. We have a housing
rich.
shortage.
The
It's
rich.
funny. The rich, yeah.
Probably
the
leaving
poor
New
don't
York
come.
City, probably leaving New York City and coming here.
Residential real estate. You go over any 4 of our lines, and or any 3 of our lines, and it's $30,000 or $40,000 more per house.
Oh, it is.
Wow.
Yeah,
Same comparable house.
we
Wow.
looked.
So
That's why we landed here.
we're poor.
I know, we were down in Florida the other day looking at houses.
Oh, Florida's crazy.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm trying to get on that before it's too late. I'm running out of houses. No, there's tons of room. What was cool to see is down there is it's like the new California. It's a modern California. There's building. I've been going down there every month basically this year,
Wow.
looking for houses, helping coach move down there and all that stuff. And every time you go, there's a new. Like the towns around here are so small. It's like
Yeah.
there's a boom, Putnam right there, bang, and then you go down a few miles. There's a whole new, because it's all flat.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't have to
They
blow
just-
anything up.
yeah,
They
they
just
just
like let
throw-
me put up this building.
Right,
Done.
and there's no rock. You know when you
Nothing.
dig in
Yeah.
Connecticut, it's so frustrating. You get like 3 inches in the ground, and ding! And you're like, oh my god, I need dynamite. Is what I need. Florida, you can dig with your hands if you wanted to.
And get right to water with
Right.
5 feet.
Right. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
You know, they're the leader in the country for sinkholes.
yeah. Nice. Nice.
I know the reason why the quiet corner of New England is the best way. And if you want your piece of real estate, contact
You love
me.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Matt
Oh, yeah.
Expel Park.
what does Florida even have? They don't. They have Dunkin', but it's like scarce.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Starbucks is everywhere too.
Yeah, They have a lot of everything because people
It's
from
packed.
not a lot of people are from Florida.
No,
No,
So
not really.
everyone brings
Yeah.
wherever they're from there.
that's where they retire, or they're like, I don't
Yeah,
like the cold.
Yeah.
It's been the retire capital of
It's
the year
nice.
since
It's-
before
It's
I was
nice.
born.
It's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah, I mean it's hot as balls in the summer.
Yeah,
We were there in
yeah.
July, and oh my god, it was like
Yeah.
100.
That's why people normally come back up here to live during the
Snowbirds.
summer and then live
I
there.
could see myself doing.
I could be a snowbird.
I could absolutely.
easily.
Yeah.
I hate the winter.
Yeah, that's why I don't mind the hot summer. I'd rather have a hot summer than a freezing cold winter.
Yeah.
So it's whatever.
Just
I
laying in a
love all
pool.
the all the seasons, all the
True
feelings.
New Englander right there. That's a
Yeah.
true
I love
New
all the
Englander.
seasons.
I like all the good ones. So that's why
All
Actually,
about winter.
We were down there in the fall, and one of my close family members about clawed himself to death because he has eczema. And
Oh,
humidity
yeah.
just crushed it. And by the end of the week, it
Mm.
was like, we got to go home. And I'm like, yeah, we do. It's like, yeah. So it just depends. I am fine. I've been to Vegas.
Yeah, we
in
just were there.
California, and they do have even.
Vegas is big.
I will admit the dry heat is more tolerable
yeah, way
than
nicer.
the humidity. But if you go North Carolina or below, the humidity is absurd.
It's rough. It's rough.
I think that's kind of like worse. But yeah, I love this area. I mean, we haven't.
Right now, it's easy to say that.
Well-
We got great weather right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Today was
I'll ask
perfect.
you the same question in January,
You
February.
can go
Loving
ahead.
it.
I proudly. I've shoveled snow. I've driven
Wow.
on the ice, and I was a contractor and carpenter for 15 years before I was
That's
a
fun.
realtor. So
Tough
I was
skin.
like,
I got baby skin. I don't like that.
I've chiseled ice off of wood to cut it and put it up on a third story in the wind and rain and whatnot. Yeah, I get it. It doesn't always. It's not always fun, but to me, it gives that balance.
Yeah.
So if you have a
You
cold
appreciate-
winter,
Yeah.
you appreciate the hot summer,
Yeah.
and also the spring and fall they all have their benefits. And who doesn't want a white Christmas?
I'll take palm trees.
There's not as many branches to hang your lights.
That's true. That's true. I'll make do.
Oh man,
So Smithfield, Brooklyn, Putnam, and
Bradenton, Florida.
Bradenton, Florida. If you have any interest in boxing, I personally know two families that are all in at the Rude Dog Boxing culture, and if you want to get a hold of them, 860-771-1343. Thank you guys so much for coming out.
Thanks. This was a blast.
And sharing your stories and giving us that perspective on the boxing, the fighting sports, discipline, and what's possible. 3 years to pro. I mean, it's really cool to see. It's not necessarily a mainstream sport, but you guys are making a living
Yeah.
being athletes.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, especially for someone who really doesn't like the book smarts types.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and from right here, out in the middle of nowhere.
And it's cool because sometimes people with really good athletes in high school, but then it ends there.
Yes.
And then it's really cool to see that
Yeah. We'll take them.
you can
If
open up
you
a dojo,
are
a
18
gym.
and you just finished your last season of high school sports and you're looking for the next thing and you no longer have your hockey or basketball or football, come check us out.
Nice.
You'll fall in love.
Nice. And that's rudedogboxing.net
Yep.
or 860-771-1343. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for watching. The Community Workbench podcast family is promoting the Be the One campaign. It was started by the American Legion in efforts to stop veteran suicide. For more details, visit betheone.org. We have Monday, September 23rd at 6. We go live with Fully Stoked Coffee owner Jim Goodnow. And hope y'all have enjoyed this one and will enjoy the next one. We'll see you then. As always, buy local, hire local, dine local, volunteer local, and donate local. Have great days, everybody.